Alright, Ajo, what you got? Ooh, this is interesting. They are also Trick Room heavy, but they're used in the same 3 water grass core we are, Primarina, Rillaboom, and Incineroar. But their team differs a little bit. Mainly that they also have a long neck Pokemon, the different one. They got Registeel though, and they have Porygon too. One thing about Registeel though is that, oh man, that's tough because that's Clear Body, right? So that's Body Press, that's Amnesia, things like that. And Registeel can Terra, right? So if you're worried about Ursaluna, just Terra, Earth Power, they probably have a Terra for that, right? So yeah, Registeel actually poses some big challenges. Dusclops looks to be ready to answer that call, though. I can Will-O-Wisp it, and I don't mind Trick Room as much, so I think I'm going to lean on Dusclops a little bit here. I think the one problem with Dusclops, though, is that it is Incineroar weak, so I do need to be mindful of that. And I think that's another benefit of Porygon, too, as a Trick Room user. It doesn't have to worry about Incineroar as much. With that being said, let me go ahead and bring in Dusclops. Yeah, I really am worried about that Registeel. I feel like that's going to be... I'm going to bring in my own Incineroar to see what's up. I'll bring in Rillaboom, and I'll bring in Blood Moon. I'm going to drop Primarina this round, just because... Against... yeah, Bolt is the reason I feel like I have to drop Primarina. I think if Bolt wasn't on the team, I might play a little bit more with the Water, Fire, Grass core, but... having Bolt on that team, on his team, oof, that's a little bit scary, you know what I'm saying? So, we're going to go ahead and drop it for now. Yep, it is Registeel and Rillaboom. I do put in my own Incineroar and Dusclops as well. So, Registeel probably is going to look to set up, like, Iron Defenses and things. Yeah, Clear Body activates, sure. And then Rillaboom has to take an attack draw. Registeel has leftovers, sure, and Rillaboom will be able to solve best. Okay. So I think in this case, I do feel confident going for Will-O-Wisp, and I will go ahead and fire off a parting shot into Rillaboom, expecting Rillaboom not to either switch out or stay in. So Rillaboom does fake out, sure. I can't move, sure. And Iron Defense comes up. Yep, it's the Body Press stuff. So we want to be very careful about this. This is not going to be pretty. I do set up Will-O-Wisp, though, so that will actually have the damage from Iron Press. Body Press, and possibly I could use Ghost Terror with Blood Moon Ursaluna to get the KO. So, that's what I'm expecting Registeel to do. We want to make sure that we don't let it go too crazy there. I'm going to go ahead and Will-O-Wisp into Rillaboom. What could Rillaboom switch into? Probably Porygon 2, Incineroar of their own, Primarina, or Raging Bolt. So, I will Will-O-Wisp, and I will also use Parting Shot into Rillaboom. So Rillaboom is going to use U-turn Surf. So essentially it's very similar to what we were expecting. I'm not too worried about that. And then we're going to go ahead and use Parting Shot. And their own Incineroar. So while the Will-O-Wisp won't work, at least the Parting Shot will. Alright, one thing I do need to be mindful of when Incineroar does threaten both Dusclops and Blood Moon Ursaluna. So I want to be mindful. Yeah, this duo is kind of interesting in that regard. I don't have high horsepower. It wouldn't be as effective anyways. Feel like that might be a... you know what? I will go for it. I'll go for more offensive presence early on. Yeah, Registeel is going to keep on using Iron Defense. Sure, Will-O-Wisp doesn't work. Okay. Yeah, no, absolutely. This team definitely I feel like I can think turns ahead with it. With the other beat-up combo, it's a little bit harder to see that. But this one, it feels like the plays are relatively easy to pick up on, right? So, I think for now, I don't mind. Yeah, so on that point, I will Trick Room. We see Rillaboom. Yeah, so Blood Moon Ursaluna looks really strong here, so I will go ahead and Protect for now. Steel protects, which I don't mind. So it definitely seems like the Body Press combo stuff. I will Protect with Ursaluna as well. Incineroar parting shots into Ursaluna, which is a-okay by me. And we're going to go ahead and set up Trick Room here. Alright, the main question here is, like, what would I anticipate Incineroar to do? Unfortunately, the weirdness of this is I actually can't activate both Weakness Policy and Ghost Terror at the same time, which isn't fun. But what I could do... I think, what do I want? I want to make sure I do a good amount of damage on Incineroar, right? So I think I'm down to actually Nightshade into Registeel. I will Ghost Terra, and I'm going to actually Blood Moon into... Blood Moon or Earth Power. Obviously, Earth Power is super effective, but I do want to anticipate Incineroar deciding to do a Terra. So I don't mind Blood Mooning for now. Okay, so we'll see if they commit a Terra. Nice thing here is that, like I said, because I did burn Registeel, and Registeel's probably offensive attack is Body Press, this does make it a little bit easier for me to knock out Registeel. So yeah, they are going to commit a Terra. I don't think it would be Registeel, though, because you would feel confident in your... Oh, it is Registeel. Okay, well, now I feel very confident firing off Hyper Voices till Kingdom Come. Okay. So yeah, I'm going to fire off this Nightshade. And I'll get Blood Moon off. Yeah, it does a decent amount of damage right there. Citrus Berry, right? Sure. Yeah, Body Press comes out, but it doesn't affect me anymore. But great call out. This is actually even better. I was literally talking about, oh, I can't activate my own weakness policy. Well, Incineroar did it for me. So thank you, Incineroar. We appreciate that. Now with the +2 in special attack and special and attack, the attack boost is not a big deal. But yeah, now I can comfortably go and say, hey, you know what? I will. Yeah, Registeel does not exert any offensive pressure. Yeah, thank you, opponent. Thank you. Yeah, so I will definitely Nightshade into Incineroar, and I'm gonna Hyper Voice both. Yeah, Registeel, luckily, because its main move is Body Press, which I dealt with. Okay, sure, you're gonna withdraw Incineroar. Who are you bringing out? Rillaboom? Okay, you're gonna be taking a lot of damage this turn. Yeah, look how much it does to Registeel. And Steel does high... That did 8 damage. I healed more from Grassy Terrain than I took damage. That's insane. Okay, Grassy Terrain disappears anyways. So that's even better for me. Yeah, this is just a free double KO here. So I think I'm going to go for Registeel. Alright, let me see how many turns of Trick Room I got. I got 2 more turns of Trick Room. I'm going to Nightshade Rillaboom actually, and I'm going to Hyper Voice both. Because Registeel is exerting no offensive pressure whatsoever. Perfect. This is even better. Sure, you might get Grassy Terrain back up, but I'm glad I went for this play. Incineroar comes back out. It intimidates me. Okay. Registeel protects, which is, again, I'm going after Incineroar. I'm trying to do as much damage as possible. Yeah, he really should quit while he's ahead. Yeah, absolutely. That's crazy, yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, this next turn is going to be really easy. Sure, you can bring out Rillaboom, but I'm all set up, ready to go. But yeah, that, the knockoff honestly worked out great. I was like, cool. I wasn't anticipating getting the weakness policy boost, but now I get to go crazy with it. So I can see why people on Reddit are complaining about this. And now it is Primarina coming out to play here. So, how many Trick Room? I got 1 more turn. So I do feel like I'm going to Nightshade into Primarina, and I'm going to Blood Moon into it as well. Sure, but again, what is Registeel doing here? Another way that you could play this team is actually have Dusclops have Shadow Sneak, and then Ghost Terra Blood Moon. So, yeah. That was a crit. It did 11 damage total. So, I just want you guys to think about the amount of damage here. So, again, the opponent has to have a knockout against Dusclops. They don't have an answer here. So, I feel free to just hit the Trick Room button, and I'm going to protect again. They would have to have Taunt, which Primarina doesn't know. Primarina has to get, like, yeah, it has to Moonblast. It doesn't even come close to a KO. Primarina is even Life Orbed on top of that. And we get Heavy Slam, which does... Yeah, I'm still in green. So, yeah, we good. We just jiving. We just chilling here. Yeah, and then the main thing is I have Rillaboom and Incineroar in the back. Once I knock out Registeel, then it's pretty much game over. So, I'm just going to go ahead and Hyper Voice, and I got 5 turns of Trick Room to work with. They're going to cancel. Yeah. Because the way I looked at that was like, alright, I'll Hyper Voice will knock out Registeel at that point. Then Primarina would protect. I would still then have multiple turns of Trick Room to use. I'll probably burn their own Rillaboom. Protect with my own, or just attack with Ursaluna, saying, hey, I can take a Grassy Glide, not a big deal, and then pretty much end the game from there. Yeah, the only problem would be, and then really focus down on knocking out Rillaboom, because we know that it's Assault Vest, right? So I'd probably Blood Moon and Nightshade, actually, on that slot, saying I can take one Grassy Glide, not a big deal, and then against Primarina, my own Rillaboom eats it for breakfast, and I can just use Incineroar for Fake Out support, right? So,